in articles, it's like England amazing, England these amazing scores. They are nowhere near where they should be. They are 30% of what they can be. Such a shame that now, this moment, I don't know what goes through someone's head. I just think it's the most vilest thing I just can't imagine what goes into a player's head of, oh yeah, I'm going to bite that. You'd schedule when you were going to get your hair braided and you'd rotate around. It's Rachel Burford that did all the braiding. So you'd go to her room, she'd do it.
Rookie error is telling your teammates that you can braid
hair.
Yeah,
she shouldn't have done that.
She shouldn't have done that.
If the only games you lose are World Cup finals, how does that help you learn? It doesn't. So actually, I didn't mind if they'd have lost to a France in the Six Nations. Makes them dig deep, think about when we're under pressure, because England are never, realistically, they are never under pressure, ever.
Hello and welcome back to the official Rugby World Cup podcast, brought to you by Asahi Superdry, the official beer of the Women's Rugby World Cup 2025. I'm your host, Betty Glover. As always, I'm joined by Anne Onwasiri. Anne, hello.
Hello.
Are you okay?
Normally you ask me a question. How I'm feeling.
How are you feeling, Anne?
I'm feeling sun-kissed. I've just come back from holiday,
Oh.
watching the World Cup games on a sun lounger, which has been absolutely lovely. But yeah, I'm feeling great.
Do you know what? I'm jealous. We'll get into this in a moment, but the weather in the UK this weekend, in England, was absolutely horrific.
Yeah.
So the fact that you were on a bloody sun lounger, living your best life.
Yeah, I'm
Jealous.
feeling very smug.
Anyway, with us today, we have got a former England rugby star with us, Kat Merchant. Thank you so much for joining us.
Happy to be here. I'm all right, thank you. Yes,
You've come through the London traffic, driving from Bristol to get yourself here, but you're in one piece. That's the most important thing.
In one piece, yeah. I did both the quarters up in Bristol, which were amazing, and then got asked to do this, and I was like, oh, I'd love to come do that. So made the journey down this morning, but it's been tricky, but I'm happy I'm here.
We very much appreciate it. Now, you used to coach.
I did coach.
Yeah.
I mean, I have got so many questions. I mean, well done.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. It was the cause of my rugby coaching retirement. But yeah, no.
Fair.
Yeah.
We know Anne quite well now, sort of off the pitch. What was she like on the pitch?
Oh, great! Really, like you could hear her coming a mile away. You always knew when they were here. Like you just hear the laughing. But coaching Anne was really fun as well, and it's good. Good. I miss it actually a little bit. Yeah,
You
I miss it a little bit.
Come back?
No.
Okay.
Was Kat a good coach, Anne?
Kat was all right. She was.
I'll take that.
No, she was great. She was actually the best. And I think you really encouraged me in terms of being a yapper on the pitch and how much that's needed.
Yeah, it is needed. Yeah. Good.
All right, well, on to the Rugby World Cup then. We have had 4 big quarterfinals. They're done and dusted. So now it's on to the semi-finals, everyone. This is crunch time. This is it. And they're good semi-finals as well. So New Zealand beat South Africa to seal their spot. They'll face Canada, who absolutely thrashed Australia. Do we think that's going to be the game of the World Cup so far?
100%.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
It's going to be a good one. You need your popcorn for that. That is going to be next level. France put on a brilliant comeback to beat Ireland to set up a semi-final against England, who swept aside Scotland. We sort of thought that would happen, didn't we?
Yeah.
Let's start with the game of the weekend then. Let's get into France against Ireland. Absolute heartbreak for Ireland, Kat. It was brutal to watch that finish, wasn't it?
Oh, just so gutting because they'd done so well to establish such a good lead. And then just to have it taken, it just felt really cruel. And then the line out at the end didn't go their way. It was just watching it, and their hopes just going away. I felt really gutted for them.
What I haven't actually said at the start of this podcast, that we're in a pub, like we always are. So if you hear any banging, that is why, because they're bringing loads of different deliveries in. So just to give you a little bit of context of the situation that we're in right now. But yeah, France were 13 points behind at half time. Then they scored 18 unanswered points in that second half. I mean, Anne, what was your reaction?
I'm gutted for Ireland.
Yeah.
I just think both teams were really strong, and I think Ireland started off so strong with Linda Jugang's try was absolutely beautiful. But yeah, just sad for Ireland. But France have been really, I don't know, maybe not the team that everyone's been talking about this World Cup, but
Big bang.
Yeah, agree. Because going into the World Cup, people top 4, you're talking about France are involved, but so far their performances have not been a top 4 team.
No.
And I think that they showed up for half a game, which again is very French against England when they did. They do 40 minutes and they get absolutely pumped, and then they turn it around and they come back and get within a score. So they are. That is quite typical of them. But I think even for France, they're underperforming coming into this.
We are going to get onto that point in a moment, because I think that is the big point when we talk about that semi-final against England.
Yeah.
How are France going to suddenly turn this on? But what did they do in that second half that impressed you?
They just dug deep. They were really, they're really gritty, and I think that you could see that bubbling at the end of the first half, and there's a bit of pushing, shoving. It was temperatures were flared. But for me, it's the fact that they played out of their 22, deep in their 22. They had the confidence to go for it, get it to the wing, and run a whole pitch length try. That was France at their best, when they just play with flair, with confidence, and they back themselves.
On to Ireland, just quickly, before we talk about this semi-final against England. They left it all out there, didn't they?
Yeah.
And they didn't even qualify for the last World Cup. So in terms of their journey, they've come such a long way. This isn't going to be the last we see of them, is it?
No, they're going to grow. They'll go from here, and they'll be thinking about the next 4 years, because there's a lot of quality players in that side. There's also some youngsters, so they'll be around in the next 4 years. So that's really great when a team can progress through together. But yeah, gutted for them. However, I will say I think the better semi-final, rugby-wise, is England-France, because I think England-Ireland, I think England run away with that one. I don't think Ireland have enough in the tank after, if they had a beat of France, to back that up. Bit like in 2014, they beat New Zealand, incredible. Then they faced England in the semi. It's a big ask when you've knocked out a big team before.
So maybe for the World Cup, it's for the best.
For the World Cup, I think it's a better semi-final.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting. Should we get on to Bitegate?
Yes.
Both of you just went,
Yeah.
So at the time of recording, we know that France back row Axel Bertomeu is being cited after an alleged bite on Aoife Wafer. The big thing here for me, Kat, is that Ireland are going to be absolutely raging, because if that bite had been seen, if it had been noticed, that probably would have been a straight red card.
It's a straight red. It's a straight red all the way through. So not the 20-minute one. It's the one referee calls it in, because TMO lets her know that's a red. So they're with and that was at the 42nd minute, I believe. So 38 minutes without a player. France then don't get those 18 unanswered points. They don't. So Ireland then go through. And it's not helpful for a team to think like that. You just have to be like, what happened on the day, because if you just can't, you'll drive yourself crazy. But they can feel pretty aggrieved, I would say.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to look at that and think the game would have completely shifted in momentum, wouldn't it? If that had been a straight red card. I mean, it's not nice to see, is it, in the context of the game, isn't it?
We've had such positive stories, like amazing crowd sizes, fantastic rugby, some amazing stories off the pitch, some great moments. And it's such a shame that now this moment, I don't know what goes through someone's head. I just think it's the most vilest thing I just can't imagine what goes into a player's head of, oh yeah, I'm going to bite them. Just insane.
It's in Anne's head now. I'm worried that she's playing a game on Sunday. I'm worried that she's going to bite someone.
I think
Anne.
you're more likely to kiss someone, aren't you? Or like,
Kat knows me too well. They can expose all my secrets on this podcast. A kiss or a bite, we'll see.
Yeah.
Depending on how you wake up in the morning.
Let's see.
Let's move on to that England-Scotland game then.
Yeah.
England swept Scotland away, but Scotland got the points on the board first, Kat.
Scotland started really well. So I was calling that game 5 Live, and Scotland really started with exactly how they should have. They got into the game, they controlled it, they had some good tactical kicking, but you cannot lose half of your line-outs. It was driving me insane. They were getting penalties, they would kick for touch relentlessly, mess the line-up out. And they just tap and go, do something. So I think Scotland really let themselves down there with that, because they are quality players, and I think they should be disappointed in how they ended up.
It's frustrating to watch it, wasn't it? Because why didn't they try something else?
Yeah, honestly, on radio, I was like, quick tap. Like, just
do something different.
Yes, like I was with the former Scottish captain Lisa Martin, and she was saying the same though. She just couldn't believe it. Like we were watching it, it was just on repeat. I felt like Groundhog Day of just watching like this. So that's it. But they did do some good stuff, and the try that they scored at the end, not many teams have scored against England. Like they keep scores really low, so that's something that they can be proud of. But I don't think it was I think the scrummaging, that was England pressure. I think they were very, very dominant, which caused Scotland problems. They gave away 5 scrum penalties. But I think line out wise, Scotland did that all themselves. That was just, it wasn't clicking, and they needed to do something different.
Scotland reached their first quarter-final for the first time since 2002. They showed so much fight in that game, and you just sort of get the impression, don't you, that next World Cup, maybe Scotland might be there?
I think the turning point for Scotland was that how comfortably they beat Wales. Like, because Scotland have like always come close and nearly won. They're the shoulda, woulda, coulda team. So I love that they pulled it together. They were ruthless. They put in a really good performance against England. Line out aside, I think they did some great rugby. And the fact they had these contracts up in the air coming into World Cup, that's not fair on players. Like, I think they showed incredible resilience to be able to pull together, make a quarter, do that with everything that's going on in the background. So a big amount of credit for those Scottish players.
So Scotland can feel proud of themselves.
Yeah.
I think it's fair to say. Can England feel proud of themselves at the moment, given their performances?
Well, so I've got to thought about this because you hear like on in articles, it's like England amazing, England these amazing scores. They are nowhere near where they should be. They are 30% of what they can be, but World Cup rugby isn't about playing pretty. It's not about being 10 out of 10 every game. You just have to turn up, win games. Doesn't matter if you want to kick and maul it all day. If it works for you, do that. But yeah, something fundamentally isn't quite clicking for us, particularly in the backs. And I'm wondering, is it pressure? Is it the pressure of they're under a big amount of pressure, home World Cup. But hopefully against France in the semis, we just see it and they click and they're ready. But yeah, I don't think that teams are looking at England as scary as the New Zealands and the Canadas.
Yeah, because I would ask, in counter to that, is something that we talk about with England is their depth and how amazing it is, and we've seen with their team sheet, the back line has been changing every week. Do you think that will give teams a bit they don't really know what they're facing and it doesn't seem like that much of a threat? Or I don't know, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, well, I think because they bring different things. So if you have Tatiana Hurd at 12, which I think is the best choice for England, I think she just carries really hard. They've got gas out wide. They can then get it to them. I think when they start doing this thing of, at one point in the game, towards the end, they had 10 fly halves in their back line. Because they had Zoe Harrison came on, Holly Aitchison, got Meg Jones, and then they had Roland as well on the pitch. So that's 4 fly halves on the pitch. Yeah. That's a back line. Well, what do you want to do with that? Because you're going to be creative, but creative to who? Who are you passing it to if you're all the creative ones? So, and I love that they're all fantastic players, but I think at this point in a World Cup, you should know you're starting 1 to 15 and that is it. And they are now, all they're doing is fine tuning. It shouldn't be, well, it's a new 10-12 combo or it's a new, that should be cemented now.
Why do you think John Mitchell's doing that? Why do you think he's making so many changes?
I do understand it because I think the thing that I don't think there would have been as many changes apart from Holly Aitchison's ankle injury. That's forced it a little bit. I think she would have been featuring a lot earlier and would have been the starting 10 throughout, I think. Whilst giving and then obviously you've got the Kildan concussion. So with her being out, that then bring Rowlands into fullback again. But I think that there's timing issues. Like we saw it in the game before, the Australia game. How many forward passes were there? There were loads when they were popping to each other and it just wasn't clicking. But it cannot be stressed enough. They are putting 40 points when they are not playing well. So when they play well, that they're going to pull it out of the park. But we just need to see it.
And let's be honest, teams aren't scoring that much against them either.
No. That's the one thing they do have. They're just not, their defence is incredible and no one's scoring. So it doesn't matter how great Canada and New Zealand are actually in the attack. If England's defence is that strong, actually then all they've got to do is and England score. They can always score. So, but yeah, I don't know that they are where they want to be, but they've done everything they need to do to win and get through to a semi against France, where mentally England always have the edge on France. They're France's bogey team for sure, because France can beat New Zealand, they can beat Canada, but they struggle so much with England.
It's interesting. Let's get on to that semi-final then. We may as well. Yeah. England against France. What do France need to do to turn up? Because let's be honest, they haven't turned up this World Cup so far, have they?
Line speed. I would fly at that back line, just put as much line speed on as possible. Now England will break through that. They'll bit of footwork. They'll run. They'll leak some tries. But if you can rattle them and get as much pressure as you possibly can on them, that's what they should focus on. And then in attack, jouer, just launch it, play with it. I would just be going loose with it, getting it wide. The game that they played in the game against France, actually, France managed to get around the outside of England quite well. Their tries out wide. So I think they'll be looking to do that as well. But we could have a really exciting game on our hands if France turn up. Otherwise, they get pumped.
England haven't actually had a close game this World Cup yet, though, have they? So if this is a close game, mentally, how is that going to affect England? Do you think they'll be able to cope with it?
Yes, I think they need a close game going into a final. I've been banging on about this since the last World Cup. It's not a problem if England lose a game before a World Cup. I actually wanted them to lose because actually, yeah, if the only games you lose are World Cup finals, how does that help you learn? It doesn't. So actually, I didn't mind if they'd have lost to a France in a Six Nations. Makes them dig deep, think about when we're under pressure, because England are never, realistically, they are never under pressure, ever, until a World Cup final. And that's hard. That's really, really hard to be in that position. So hopefully France give them a bit of a scare. Give them a bit of a scare. Come really, really close. England then regroup and then they focus on the final.
Who do you think is going to stand up for France? Who needs to really make their mark, have the game of their lives?
Pauline Baudin-Sansus. Like she's such a key leader, and I think when she's not having her best game, the rest of France don't perform either. Whereas when she's switched on, I think that like the rest of them just really like rally together.
And in terms of England, you love Abby Dow, don't you?
I'm obsessed with Abby Dow.
She's amazing.
She's just great on the pitch, and I love the stuff that she does like off the pitch as well. I love the knitting, and I think it's just so cute. And I love she gave the referees like
the whistles,
like knitted whistles, which is really cute. And I know that in the previous game she gave Kate Middleton a bouquet of like crocheted flowers. Yeah. And she also gave Rona Lloyd a matching like 14 top that was crocheted. I just think it's really cute, and like it's nice to like see the personalities of such a talented person like outside of the pitch as well, and to be so talented off the pitch.
Well, I think it's really nice with Abby Dow as well, because there's some big loud personalities in that squad, and you see those a lot. Abby isn't a loud person, yet her personality shines through with the things that she's doing, and I think it's great for players to have that space and opportunity to showcase those players, because it is great. And on the pitch, next level. She has got to be up there with the best finishers in the world.
Yeah.
She scored her 50th try, didn't she? Are we expecting more from her?
Yeah, I don't think we've seen, she got double marked. She's been very well marked in this World Cup so far, but I think she's a big game player, and there's no one I'd rather give the ball to when you're in a tough situation. You need to score. You give it to Dow, because she doesn't even need space. She's not a winger that needs to be 10 metres of space, one-on-one with someone. You could give her the ball in the middle of the pitch against 4 people and she'll find a way through them, like power through. Like, so yeah, she's out and out incredible, and we're yet to see the best of her for this World Cup, I think.
In England's game against Scotland, we saw Ellie Kildunn sat on the sidelines banging a drum, which I mean, we're not used to seeing her sat on the sidelines, are we? If she's back in time for this semi-final, what do you want to see from Ellie Kildunn? Yeah,
so I think they'll bring her back in, and I think it hasn't clicked with Kildunn and the outside backs as it normally does. Normally, I think there's almost those half gaps, because she's such a great runner. I think if she sees a half gap, she wants to take it. But then in her head, I'm playing fullback, so I maybe need to pass it. And that half a pause of hesitation means that it's overrun. So I'd like to just see her back feeling like confident, backing her decisions, whether that's carry, whether it's pass, but just back herself, build on that, and because she's so key for England.
Which England winger reminds you the most of you?
I'm actually going to say Dow. Now, that seems very arrogant since I've just said she's amazing.
Dow is incredible.
But in the way that, so I was right wing, but also just that handoff and that fight through. And you've got your wingers like Breach, who are out and out gas, who go round. And I was more of the handoff type and like footwork and fight. But Rachel Burford said that like comparison before, which was nice. Yeah. So I'm not just being like, Dow's the best player in the world. Reminds me of me.
Can you just describe that feeling to us when you've got the ball, you're flying down the wing, you can see that you're going to score a try. It's a massive game. Yeah. What does it feel like?
I tell you what, it's before you even get it in your hands, because you've lined it up. You know if you've got your winger or not, like you know in advance. So you're just like, give me that ball, and the feeling of it is just incredible. Like, because I used to love a handoff. I'd say 90% of my tries were like a handoff. Like, and when you get them, and you almost have eye contact with them as they're like falling, and you're just like, it is a proper like. See, it must be like for front row, like when you absolutely own someone in a scrum.
Yeah, sure.
No, it's not
like wingers
obviously,
have like the glam, like sprint, and like
Yeah.
any try I've ever scored has just been like flopping my body over
Yeah.
the line and hoping for the best.
And World Rugby always clip the wingers, slow motion,
Yeah.
great music over the top.
Yeah. There's one. It was against France actually, and I'm doing some footwork and I hand her off, and as I hand her off, they slow the music down, and then it powers up, so it goes in time to music, and then she like goes like Matrix style, hits the deck.
That's my dream.
It was
Stunning.
honestly, it's like that's great.
And goes to sleep dreaming of a video like that.
Yeah.
Prediction then for England France.
England win comfortably by 20. I think if just looking at what's happened, I think England will click, and I think that France will crumble.
If they do, that would be a record 32 straight test wins. That's wild.
Yeah, incredible.
The momentum going into that game is unbelievable. And prediction?
Yeah, I think England win, maybe a bit closer. I would say 38-28.
Okay.
10.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I think a high scoring game, but England to get the win.
Well, I just hope that it's close. That's my fingers across for a close
I would
game.
rather that, but I'm just looking at France, and I think especially with this biting thing on the outside, I can see something bubbling, and I can see them just exploding in the wrong way and just coming out and doing something mental in the first half, and just I could just see that happening, and then England just capitalising on it. Hopefully not for the tournament. We want close games. I want England to be under pressure going into a final, but in the right way, having had defensive pressure, etc.
No more biting. Biting for apples, not for rugby players. Are you ready for a pub quiz, Kat?
Oh God, yes, go for it.
Panic!
This is my idea of hell. But no.
This is my dream.
This is full anxiety.
Do a pub quiz against
I actually don't know anything. So
That is not true.
This is very stressful.
It is time for our Asahi Superdry pub quiz. So I'll recap the rules for you. 6 questions and a bonus point opinion-based question at the end of it. The winner of that bonus point question will be chosen by the fans and revealed next week. So Anne will just give you a text to say if you've won that. Okay, I guess.
I've never won, so
okay.
I can already tell you.
Yeah. Well, I feel this could be your day.
Maybe. Before we start, I'll reveal the winner of last week's bonus point question. It was Canada's Pam Buisa against comedian Abby Clark. And the question was, how would they celebrate a try? And Abby won. I think she said she'd take her top off. Did she?
Yeah, I think so.
So the fans like that one. So she won that. Right, you two, let's get you into your jerseys. So, Anne, you are Asahi Superdry.
Yes.
And Kat, you are Asahi Superdry Zero. So just whack the buzzer if you know the answer.
Got it.
Question number 1. Who is the top point scorer of the tournament so far? And you get a bonus point if you can say how far ahead they are from the next person.
Braxton Saracen McGee.
Correct.
7 tries.
7 points ahead of Renee Holmes.
Ooh.
But so you don't get your bonus point, but we'll give you that point. Kat, come on, you need to get in there.
Yeah.
Disappointing. No, I'm joking.
No, I'm disappointed in myself. I buffered, I panicked. Yeah.
What does Asahi translate to?
Beer.
No, but I like the working there.
I told you I don't like quizzes.
Go on, Anne. Do you have an answer? Can you steal it?
Like sun. Sun, is it?
Nearly. No. You're actually nearly right. It's actually morning rising sun.
Oh, that's
worth a point, I
nice.
think.
Yeah, go on. We'll give you a
I'll
point.
give myself.
Yeah, I told you. I think you're going to win this one.
Thank you.
I like that. That's that supportive
kind.
coaching mentality. Question number 3. What country has scored the most tries so far?
New Zealand.
No.
It's going to be England, isn't it? It's going to be England. Yeah.
England.
Yeah.
We just gave you... We'll keep it at 2-0.
2-0.
Okay.
I know that, Kat.
I think
You should know that. I panicked. I tell you what, quizzes, they get to me.
Yeah, they do.
I do a France. I lose my mind.
Don't go biting anyone though, Kat.
It's close.
Keep your teeth in. Okay, number 4. Ilona Maher was watching the England against Scotland game this weekend, but which lioness was she watching with?
I don't want to do it because I don't want to get it
Do
wrong.
it.
No, I'll get it wrong.
No, I think you've got...
I believe in you.
No, I don't believe
I
in
really want
myself.
to know who you want to say.
Yeah, I'm really intrigued.
Marry up.
Back in it.
See? Back
2-1.
yourself.
On the pitch, yes. I'm sweating. I'm so stressed. Like, yeah.
Very cool though to see Mary Earps and Ilona
Yeah, it
Maher
was
in a
cool.
video
It was
together.
really
cool.
Two icons in women's sport. Question number 5. Scotland's Rachel Malcolm broke what record on the weekend?
A number of games at captain.
Yeah, for both men and women
Yes.
as well.
Yeah,
Insane.
Incredible.
Pulled
Incredible.
it back 2-2.
I have.
Game
yes. Yeah.
Game
I'm calm
on.
now. I'm all right.
Okay,
Yeah.
so this is for the winner. Question number 6. Out of the teams in the semi-final, how many contain a plant or a flower in their team logo? So we've got England,
logo.
we've got Canada, we've got
The
New Zealand, and we've got
semi-final.
France. Which ones contain a flower in their logo?
I can't even think of any of the logos.
Well, you know England's.
What's your
Is it just England?
No.
3?
This is the worst pub
That
quiz
is
ever.
ridiculous.
Our producer's just giving the answers. Congratulations,
Thank
Kat.
you.
You are right. Can you
Name the
name the
countries.
3?
No. Anne, you do it. You can take the point. Take the win.
If you can name them all, you get the win, Anne.
Oh,
This could be your first
New
win.
Zealand
Yeah?
and Canada
Yeah?
and England.
Yeah.
Yay! Oh my god, have I won?
Yeah, you've won.
Oh my god, let's leave it there. Let's end it. I'm done. Oh
We
my
have
god,
got
this is
one
so exciting.
bonus point opinion question, though, okay? Are you ready? If you had to choose a hairstyle to represent yourself as a player, what would it be and why?
Oh. Do you want to go first?
I'd do something similar to what I have now. So like short afro, bleached, and dye it the colours of my opponent's jersey. I don't know, get in their heads.
Why would you do
I
that?
don't know. I just think it'd be nice to just like, I don't know, against New Zealand, just have like black and white stripes in my hair and be like, yeah, what?
I'd
Got
go really. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is why I never win.
Oh no, you'll win. 'Cause mine is incredibly dull. I just braid my hair because for me it's like in the zone. Like you do it when you're getting ready. You're really focused. You go out and like. It was, we were talking about this at the weekend, it's the part of rugby you sort of miss because before England games, you'd schedule when you were going to get your hair braided and you'd rotate around. It was Rachel Burford that did all the braiding. So you'd go to her room, she'd do it.
Rookie error
And,
is
yeah.
telling your teammates that you can braid
Yeah,
hair.
she shouldn't have done that.
She
But
shouldn't have done
I
that.
think it was part of her routine as well. But for me, just getting it done, you're in the zone. You're not like, you're not Ditsy Cat who can't do pub quizzes. You're like, right, Savage Cat is going to go hand people off. So yeah, I just braid my hair. So you
I
might
like
win.
that
It's pretty
answer.
boring, but yeah.
But that's more practical. And everyone is like, I've loved seeing all the videos of everyone like braiding their hair and
Yeah.
just like so serious, like game ready. So
Well-
I'm worried you might win.
Yeah, maybe. Well, put in the comments below, especially on YouTube. Get on YouTube. Have a watch of this, by the way. You can see the lovely pub that we're in. But put in the comments, who do you think has won that bonus point opinion question? Kat, what else did you do in the dressing rooms before you went out?
So they'd go into those, like you'd have some, like there'd be music on and things, and then they started doing this like everyone would give each other a hug thing, but I'm not a hugger, I'm very awkward, so I would hide in the toilet while they did that, and then I'd come out. So yeah.
What do you mean they'd all hug you? What do you mean?
Just before the game they'd be like, yeah, let's go, like good luck and like this, and but I found that very stressful, so I'd remove myself and then come back in, but they all got it, and they'd just like give me a fist bump, and I'd be like, yeah, cool, that's good for me. Like, yeah.
Where's Kat? She's hiding in the toilet.
She's hiding from the hugging.
Do you know what? I'm feeling very awkward now because when you came in, I gave you a hug.
Oh no, one hug's okay. That
Okay.
and I can see it coming. Like
Right.
I'm like,
So
okay,
you could mentally prepare
I'll prepare myself
for
for
me.
this hug. But like mass hugging before I'm about to go and play an international. No, thank you. No, get off me.
Actually, I remember when you
I'm
first
quite
started
weird.
coaching us, I
Yeah.
was terrified of you. And then getting to
Good.
know you are such a softie.
Yeah.
You are honestly the biggest softie. And that is hilarious. I'm sorry,
I'm
these-
such a softie. I'm also really jumpy. If someone's like, I'm like, like the biggest wimp off the pitch. But yeah, when I arrived at Hackney, you guys were a bit like,
all
oh,
terrified.
It's cat. Oh, like, yeah, but there
I
you go.
can see why though. England international, England
Yeah.
star, coming to Hackney to coach this lot.
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
great.
Yeah, it was fun. It was an experience. Yeah, no, I do. I miss it. They're
Okay.
great.
Back onto the Rugby World Cup though. Let's talk about the second semi-final. It is going to be a big one. New Zealand against Canada. This is how they got there. So New Zealand beat South Africa. They overcame South Africa. But I mean, it was 10-10 at half time. This was unbelievable. 10-all. Were you expecting that?
Not at all. But when you look at the stats, I think they only had 21% of possession in the first half or something like that. So South Africa were very, very smart. They just didn't let them have the ball. They played that real physical game and they caught them off guard. But one thing about New Zealand is they learn quicker than any other team. They'd have gone in at halftime and been like, right, enough of this. They came out, they scored within, was it 30 seconds? It was something ridiculous anyway. And then it was bang, they were into it. Because they got sucked into someone else's game and they just need to play their own. So yeah, they showed what they could do.
I when I was watching it, I was like, I don't know if this is New Zealand maybe not trying, or maybe not trying, but just not getting into that fifth gear that we know they can get in.
I think South Africa were smart and they denied them that opportunity. I think it's exactly what you've got to do. You've got to go and like just beat them up, like be really physical, like drag them into that game, because they have just amazing finishers. The way they can just move it out wide, they're so dangerous. Just try and stop that.
And South Africa were iconic, weren't they? Because from this weekend, the one thing that you've taken from it is that South Africa, insane. You're going to take it into your Sunday game, aren't you?
Yes, I'm going to do more 15-person mauls. Putting a 9 and their 15 up in a line out is just absolutely ridiculous. But I think obviously I wanted South Africa to win. I've been so biased this whole podcast. So I'm glad that they didn't win. But I think what was really good about watching that game was like they put on a show and like had really iconic moments and tried new things. Like doing a maul off of a scrum is just, for me as a forward, I'd be so tired and fuming to like do that. But like it's so good to watch and it's so innovative, and I think it's really good to see that in the women's game at this level, at a quarterfinal, like trying new things and having fun and the smiling and dancing afterwards. And I think they've put on such a good show and played good rugby that I think they've been I love them.
I think they've made a lot of people fall in love with them as well, because just the way they compose themselves, like on the pitch they did do some incredible things, but off the pitch as well they just seemed to have that, they loved being there. But what I really liked was they felt they deserved to be there, and they absolutely did. And so they showed up in a way that wasn't just, we're just happy to be here. No, we're here to perform. And actually, to do that to New Zealand, I think is huge, and people will always remember that. That's their moment, and it's brilliant. And I think they're a team that are going to build. Again, they've got some youngsters in that squad. 4 years time, they could be pretty dangerous.
But we know when we were watching it, we all knew New Zealand
inevitable.
Are capable of coming back into this, and they did it in absolute style as well. Who stood out for you? What did you love the most about their second?
I just think the way that they're able to just switch into their mode of like launch it wide, and then they've just got an incredible group of players that just know when they're under pressure how to deliver, and it's why they show up for World Cups. They always do. They can. The last World Cup they got beat by 50 points by England and by France, and then they turn up and they win it. So they just peak at the right times.
They get into turbo mode, don't they?
Yeah, exactly. I think there's so many like amazing, like Braxton Saracen McGee is the like definitely big star, like the sweetheart of the tournament, and it's just been absolutely unstoppable.
Really humble as well.
Really humble, just really sweet as well. But imagine being 18, this is your first World Cup, and just like the tries
scoring
that
hat tricks.
It's just unbelievable. I think also like the comeback story of Kaipo Olsen-Baker as well, and like the first game, like how heartbreaking that was, thinking that was like the end of her tournament, and then for her to come back, she was absolutely everywhere on the pitch, and then got player of the match, and like I think seeing those kind of stories and like from New Zealand as well is what really gets you.
First game since coming back from that ankle injury, wasn't it?
Yes, and so like I was on comms for that one and seeing it happen and zoomed in. I recognised the look in her face. That was a look of, it's not pain, it's panic. It's panic of, not again, this is my World Cup gone. Like this is the World Cup dream gone. So I'm so pleased.
And some incredible scenes at the end, dancing, both teams full of absolute vibes. You love to see it, don't you?
I love to see it. I love the dancing at the end, and I think it's what everyone likes about rugby is the community spirit as well. And I think that I love the fact that both teams came together, had a dance, had a little chat, and had like just celebrated each other. And like despite the scoreline, just were all generally joyful for the experience of playing each other, because there's so much to like they're all going to take from that. And it was so lovely to see.
I love the dancing afterwards. Not a big fan of the dancing before. I find that it just doesn't sit with me. I'm there.
Why?
I don't like it.
Why?
I don't know, miserable.
As in you'd rather everyone just focused?
Yeah, because some of the changing rooms you could see it, and like, because the one for me was like USA going, and they're like, whoa, and they're all jumping and slapping each other, like going into the change room. That honestly is my absolute worst nightmare. I'd be like, I just want to go in. I want to be focused. I want to, like, New Zealand arrive. Like they might, a few of them might be a bit up, but they're there to do a job. Canada, absolutely there to do a job. Same with England. It's just it's interesting. But yeah, there's a few of us talking about it and the dancing, because you've got the directors and you hear them in your ear when you're commentating, and they're like, oh yeah, zoom in, like great, the dancing. And I was like, oh, dancing, like
Oh, dancing.
so
Dancing,
miserable,
hugging,
boring.
people having fun.
Why are they doing this? Yeah, but like after the game, love it, and
Yeah.
absolutely. And I think the South Africa one in particular, I just absolutely loved that. And England Samoa having that moment, Samoa scoring their first points.
One of the moments of the
like
tournament
that,
so far.
absolutely beautiful. Love it. So I'm not against dancing and I'm not against hugging, but before a game, neither of those things. I don't want to hear those things.
You say about Canada
Yeah.
being ruthless.
Yeah.
Canada in the zone.
Yeah.
They were absolutely ruthless against Australia. An unbelievable performance. The fastest start. They just got off the blocks straight away, didn't they?
Oh, just they're so good as well. That opening 20 minutes for Canada, I was watching that and I was like, that's a World Cup winning team. Like that genuinely is the best performance we've seen so far of any of the teams, I would say. For that half. Second half got a bit scrappy and a few. In fact, the end of that first half, wasn't it? They missed about 3 opportunities, I think, to score on it. But they look so dangerous. They just, and like Sophie de Goody, like we say her name so often, but got to be up there with the best player in the world.
100%.
She's just insane. Like the work rate that she does, and just because sometimes as well when you're up in the stand, you're right at the back, and if you're not watching it on the screen, you're watching it live. You're like, oh no, that wasn't her. Couldn't have been. No, it was. Like because you're like, but she's just on the last carry, and how's she there? Like it's incredible.
If I was a young girl and I was watching it, I would be obsessed with Sophie de Goody. I just want to be her. I mean, I want to be her now, but like if I was like 10,
when I grow up, I want to be her.
When I grow up. But if I was like 10 and I was watching her, I'd be in awe of her performances because she's next level.
Yeah, that's just insane. But yeah, Canada are very, very good. Like this semi-final is going to be amazing.
Have they got the best attack in the tournament?
I think they got the best all-round game at the minute. I think England have the ability to have the best attack and defence. Like they do. But in terms of performance, and obviously it's all relative because we have a high expectation of England. So yeah, England putting 47 points on Australia, and where they're like, that's like they weren't that great. Like whereas like realistically, another team does that, even if their performance isn't great, you give them credit. But yeah, Canada so far, I think, have looked the most ruthless in their attack.
It's interesting because we talk about these semi-finals and we say, England, not quite there, haven't quite seen them, at their best yet. New Zealand, making a few little mistakes, haven't quite seen them at their best yet. But Canada, we're like, insane. Yeah. Have they peaked too soon?
No, I think because there's no dip. There's no dip in the performance. And I think that's where, because it's not like, there's still things they can fix. So I don't think it's a slam dunk of peaking too soon. Because peaking too soon, I'd say, would be prior to a tournament, like peaking, then coming in. But actually, they've built in those pool games. Like I just felt because like the Scotland game that they played, I don't think that was necessarily Canada's like best performance necessarily, but they I think the Australia one, they're just like starting to now know that they can do it.
On to that semi-final then. New Zealand against Canada, 3rd v 2nd in the world. It doesn't really get a lot bigger than this. This is a huge semi-final.
Yeah.
How do you feel ahead of it, Anne?
I'm nervous. And I think Canada's story really just gets me in the fact that they had to fundraise to get here. They don't have a professional league for women at the moment. And like a lot of them play here in the PWR, and just like, it'd be really amazing to see them win it. But New Zealand at the moment are terrifying and unstoppable. So it's so hard to call.
What separates them, do you think, these two sides?
Belief in winning big games. So that's where New Zealand have the edge. New Zealand will go into that, but like not just believing, knowing that they can win it. And like if it's tough, be like, but don't worry, it will happen. When the bounce of a ball just always seems to go to one team, it's always the same team because they're like, well, of course it will, and they've got that for them. I think Canada win that. I think Canada win that semi-final.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
I just think I think if they don't do it now, like this is their shot. This is their time to do it, to do the whole thing. Because for me, if it's not England, I would actually love for it to be Canada. If it's not England, obviously want England to win. Yeah. But if not, Canada would love it because they're so impressive. They purposely don't talk about the fact that they're like semi-pro or that they have to fundraise, they have to do all of this. They just know we're here. In our mind, we're professional and we're doing this. But credits to them, and they've just got such a fantastic story, personalities, like they're very driven. I think though, I think they beat New Zealand.
That is a massive call. That is
Do you think?
huge.
Do you think?
I agree. Yeah, I do think. I think it'll be very, very tight, like 2-3 points in it. But I really see it for Canada. It's their year. It's their time.
Yeah, I don't even know if it's tight. I think once one of them gets the edge, I think either of them could pull away. If New Zealand win, New Zealand don't win by a point. I think if New Zealand win it, they've got in Canada's head. Canada go down and New Zealand pull away. I think if Canada win it, possibly it's tighter. But it's good. Oh, I can't wait. Friday night,
excited.
like big day. Like, it's just
Friday night under the lights. But last time they played each other in May in the Pacific 4 series, it was 27-27.
Yeah.
Ooh, that makes me sick.
I just don't know who's going to have the edge. I don't know what the difference is.
Yeah, I think again, New Zealand will know that they because if you look at the last World Cup, if Duran gets that kick, New Zealand don't even go to the final. If England don't go down to 14, do they New Zealand able to then pull away? You don't. So they just have this things go their way. Like there's no I think Ruby Tui is it's written in the stars. It's how she describes it and stuff like that. And so I just think they'll have that confidence going into it. But it's Canada's time. It's Canada. They're better. They're performing better. They're the better team. They're on form. They can do it.
I thought it was really interesting that their head coach, after that game against Australia, was like, we're too Canadian. We're too nice.
Yeah.
We could have scored more tries.
Oh, yeah.
Do you think that's what Canada sometimes lack, is that ruthless edge that we know New Zealand have?
I think they just started thinking about the semi-final, actually. And I think that they were then like, oh my God, we've done it. And okay. And then they started thinking forward rather than being in the present. I think that's why they started making a few errors. I don't think it was because they were too nice. But could be wrong on that. But that's what I thought. I was like, minds were drifting, and then quality went down.
Who's going to be the key matchup then between in that game? Who are the two players that we think are going to come up head to head?
Who do we think?
I think Asia, Hogan, Rochester, because I think they have just been phenomenal. And again, great story of injured beginning of the World Cup and then has rehabbed, come back, and has just been so dominant. Scored a try 2 minutes in the last game, but they're just a force to be reckoned with. And
their defence is going to be so important against New Zealand, because their back three, whoever they have starting, is just going to be incredible. Yeah. So, but I think it's won or lost up front with that. So I think if the pack can step up, that's where it's going to be, because they need to stop New Zealand getting it wide too often, because it does get tiring to try and defend that. So I think if they could just get in their head, but it's genuinely, because because I keep thinking about it, can't wait to watch. I'm actually going to be working it. I'm going to be commentating, but I'm such a fan doing it. It's that, because you're talking about it and you love it and you're really animated, and it's just it's so great. It's going to be amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm going to watch it Friday night.
Yes.
Bottle of wine, popcorn. I literally cannot wait.
Yeah.
How are you going to watch it?
I'm going to be watching it at the store at Style of Our Own on Regent Street. If anyone wants to come join, we'll be showing it there.
They don't want to go with you. Yeah.
I'll be watching it by myself.
It's going to be big. What's it like ahead of a major game like that? What does it feel like within the team?
Just the buzz, the feel, the vibe of I think. So I talk about the feeling going into, it was the World Cup semi-final in 2014, going into Ireland. None of us ever spoke about winning it. We didn't speak about it. It wasn't a thought that we had. We just knew we were going to. And there was this connection between us, and it felt amazing. I can't even describe it. There was just almost you look at each other and we're like, we got this. And there's just this calm, readiness to go and take it on. So it's incredible. I mean, it's nerve-wracking as well, I think, because you do World Cup semi-finals, World Cup finals, how often do people get to do them? You don't. So you're in your head, you're playing the World Cup tomorrow, but you just need to keep it really okay, it's just another game of rugby, and treat it that way, with extra energy. And then, but yeah, I love it.
I just wonder whether the occasion will get to Canada.
In the fact that it's knockout, as in the pressure. Yeah, because I think crowds and that, actually, being really honest, they're amazing that they're there, and it's fantastic, and it's great. But once you're on that pitch, I couldn't tell you if there was 4 people or 45,000 people.
Really?
On that pitch, no. No, because you were just focusing on your job. Now, that's not to say that every player obviously is the same, but for me, having played it, it was sevens at that time that was getting big, obviously, numbers at stadiums when I was playing, and we weren't getting the 45,000s that they get now, which is incredible. Love it. But yeah, it actually, people ask, like, is it daunting? And apart from not being able to hear each other very well, especially in sevens, because you're so far apart from each other, trying to shout because it's so noisy in the crowd. Apart from that, actually, I don't think you go, oh no, like, you just don't want to drop a ball. You don't care if you're dropping it in front of however many people. That never came into my head. It was more like, I want to do the best that I can do on the pitch there.
It's an interesting point, isn't it?
Yeah.
Do you have anything to add, Anne, before we wrap?
Say, do you think you see a repeat of the 2014 final?
Yeah, that's what I could
England?
see. Like, and I actually thought when Ireland as well went ahead, I was like, oh, there's going to be the same. It's going to be England, Ireland semi, and then it's going to be England, because I'm convinced Canada are going to win. Like, that, you know, as in their semi. So yeah, England Canada final. That, and then actually England are the bogey team for Canada in the way that New Zealand have seemed to be in World Cup finals for England. But yeah, it's a fascinating route from now on, and it's going to be, well, if you look at the last World Cup semi-finals, those games were so close, because we talk about the fact that France nearly beat New Zealand in the semi. We don't talk about the fact that Canada really, really scared England. They pulled away in that first half, and it was only, again, I was on the mic for that, and I was over in New Zealand, and I was like, oh no, but England have got this. And it was getting later and later and later.
And you were like, do they?
Are Canada going to beat England in a semi-final? So I think they've been there before. They've been in big games. They've not got the win, but now is their time, and they need to step up. Well,
we will soon find out. Kat, thank you so much for joining us. Anne, thank you as well. Enjoy the weekend, both of you. Good luck on the mic.
Thank you. Yeah.
I hope you've got some popcorn beside you, because that is going to be a big one. Guys, thank you so much for listening or watching, and do subscribe wherever you get your podcast from. Leave us a comment. Ask us some questions ahead of next week. We'll see you later.
Bye.